Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. I saw many Americans on X asking this question: wasn't China always our biggest partner? How did it suddenly become our greatest enemy? Today, I'll try to discuss this question. Since the 1980s, the United States has supported China's reform and opening up policies. While part of this was motivated by the potential to profit from China's cheap labor, the greater hope was that, once the Chinese people had enough to eat and economic stability, they would pursue freedom, democracy, and universal values like people in other modern, civilized nations. Unfortunately, after being invited to join the WTO and the United Nations, China exploited its status as a developing country to undermine the rules of globalization. By utilizing state subsidies and violating labor laws to exploit Chinese workers, they lowered the costs of Chinese-made products, outcompeted businesses in other countries, and created a global dependency on Chinese manufacturing, thereby increasing their influence in the international community. At the same time, China has provided extensive aid to countries in Africa, Asia, and Latin America, most of which are not democratic nations, to secure their support on the global stage. This has enabled them to engage in actions like distorting UN Resolution 2758 and similar efforts. Meanwhile, the Chinese people, having gained economic wealth, have been brainwashed by the state to oppose freedom and democracy and support military aggression. A large portion of them advocate for using nuclear weapons to achieve unification with Taiwan or to seek revenge against Japan for past invasions. They assist the Chinese government in stealing intellectual property and technology from Western universities and research institutions. Now, the U.S. government has realized its mistakes. They have become aware of the Chinese government's ambitions and its intent to reshape the world order. Through the exchanges between the Chinese government and the European Union, we can see that the EU's excessive reliance on exports from China and Russia, as well as the significant wealth gap between its member states, has made it extraordinarily difficult for the EU to decouple from China. Many countries, unable to fill the void left by the withdrawal of Chinese capital, have no choice but to continue cooperating with China and even support China's positions on some key political issues. Given this, since it has become a bipartisan consensus in the U.S. Senate that China is America's top competitor, it is necessary to educate those far-left communists to help them understand that the communism they envision will never come to fruition. Many of these Americans have no real understanding of what communism looks like. China fully implemented communism between 1949 and 1979, and there is plenty of historical data available for these FA left wings to understand what happened in China during that period. Communist ideology fundamentally contradicts the U.S. Constitution. If, in their eyes, China is a beautiful communist country on par with the United States, as free American citizens, they have the option to move to China and live there. As foreigners, they would enjoy numerous privileges in China and likely never experience the oppression and surveillance that ordinary Chinese citizens endure under their government. However, despite having this ideal choice, these individuals still choose to stay in the United States and even attempt to transform it into a communist state. This is an utterly shameless act, revealing that they are not true socialist or communist warriors but merely anti-government agitators. If you enjoy my video, feel free to follow my channel, like, share, and leave a comment. Thank you all.